I can't look at a Theragun the same anymore.
Oh my God, forget it.
I feel so inadequate.
Hi, I'm Damian Pelliccione, and you're watching Mic Drop, where pop culture collides with the stories that matter the most, and nobody leaves without dropping something real. I'm so gagged and excited because in studio today we have the fabulous, the one, the only, Salina EsTitties!
Hi, baby.
Oh my God, hi, mama.
You look hot. You look like you're gonna gag me.
That's what I was like, what do I wear to interview Salina EsTitties? I'm like, a leather daddy look, that's it.
I love a leather daddy, but I will say, you know the Eagle LA?
Yes.
You've been there?
Yeah, of course.
Shout out to the Eagle, but every time I go there, I feel so out of place. And maybe it's my wig or my tits, but like, I just don't feel like the daddies want me there.
Why?
I don't know. I don't feel like I have enough of that like rough trait inside me.
She's not serving enough.
I'm not serving enough. Leather. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, some people say my is fairly leathery.
Because it's just been run over. No,
Honey, she's a community member. I'm here to be of service.
Well, you look fabulous. Let's talk about this look.
This is by Bicala, iconic designer. I think he lives in Mexico right now, but he's made a lot of looks for a lot of the girls on this show, and he's just so fantastic and creative. Like, his outfits are insane. And he had this on his website, and I was like, bitch, I'm buying it.
This is it.
And then I made this myself.
You made the dress yourself?
Yeah, just a little hoo-how.
How long does it take you to make something like that?
A whom-how?
A
whom-how can take me like maybe 10 minutes. Like, this is really easy.
Wow.
This is one or two seams, super easy.
And you buy the fabric already sequined?
Yes. Oh, yeah. You think I sequined this myself?
I don't know.
No. This is Santee Alley. A lot of the drag queens have this. It looks like a lava lamp.
Yeah.
Or your...
You
know what I mean?
Oh,
can we say...
Well, I heard that one of your guilty pleasures is this little show called Survivor.
Baby.
I mean,
baby.
Tell me why. I'll be honest. I watched like one season, the early season, but like, why Survivor? Even now, like, what is it, like 20 years later?
Oh my God, yeah. So, I think I started watching Cerie's first season, so that's the thing with Survivor, Big Brother, all these like TV reality shows, they started as social experiments. And that's what they used to say. This is a big social experiment to see how these people come together and how they react with each other, right?
Yeah.
And then as time has evolved, it's just turned more into what the game is, which is like the social deduction, like mafia type game where you have to vote each other off, which that's very exciting. But it was very exciting back in the day to watch how these people interacted with each other, right? Like people from different lifestyles coming together and then surviving on an island. Like, that was very interesting. And I remember going back and watching all the seasons through and seeing how it's evolved over time and now how it is today and the gameplay aspect. And I think we as a society love watching this gameplay play out, right? Like, Traitors is really hot right now. They're having there's like a new mafia show that's coming out, The Mobsters. Like, I always want to be on Survivor. Like, Survivor was like my dream show to be on because I feel like I would do good. I feel like I know how to swim. I feel like I can survive in the cold. And like, just being I feel it's all about relationships and getting to know people and having them trust you to get them to vote for you, right? So like, I had made a Survivor audition tape and I never sent it in. But then at the time when I was editing my tape, RuPaul would walk by my job all the time. Like, I would see him outside. So I was like, I think it's a sign to audition for Drag Race. And then I got Drag Race instead. So my dream of Survivor was put on the back burner.
Wow, so it was between Drag Race or Survivor.
Kind of the same thing if you think about it.
I mean, yeah, you're still getting put through the ringer and not getting fed.
Okay, but you have to feed the children.
You gotta feed the children.
Yes, ma'am.
Big difference, yeah.
It was funny because I feel like my first season of Drag Race, I went there with the mindset of like Survivor a little bit, like how do I maneuver through here? What do I have to do to make sure I win this challenge? And like, it's a different game.
Would you go on Survivor now?
1000%.
Who's your number one, or that you would bring if you could like cast anyone as your number one on the show?
Okay, I was literally thinking about this because Monet Exchange loves Survivor as well, and she got to go play Survivor for a day too, or a week or something. I would love to bring Monet, but I feel like she would backstab me.
Oh.
I think she would kick me at the end.
That's the tea.
Yeah, I think she would. But I feel like I could have a better final plead than her.
Yeah. What would your final plea be?
I can't give away my secrets now.
I know. We're going to save it. Now, if you're watching Survivor casting director, Salina is available
She's
for the
ready
show.
to play.
She's ready to play. I also heard that you have a favorite celebrity. Your favorite celebrity is, of course, the one, Beyonce.
Beyonce is my queen, and I'm not ashamed of it. You know, like I don't get starstruck. Do you get starstruck?
No.
I don't get starstruck.
Very often, very rarely. The only time I got starstruck was when I met Robin Williams.
Oh my God, you met Robin Williams?
I met him twice. And I have this funny story. I was literally working a retail job on Melrose, and he came in, and I was like one of 2 salespeople on the floor that day. And I was like, okay, you know what? No, guys, like, he's mine. Like, forget it.
Yes.
This is like an idol.
Hello.
I remember writing about him on my college application. And what's funny is this is like a male apparel store, and at the time they had this like leopard skin, like thong matching underwear set, and of course
put the thong on.
He didn't put it on. He bought the set, and he was with like his
You didn't
wife.
make him try it on?
I mean,
I feel like I would suck him off. I feel like it's very hairy, and I love a big bush.
Oh my God.
Robin Williams is one of my, I think, icons and idols, though, because
Totally.
when you said favorite celebrity, like Beyonce's alive,
Yeah.
and like I love him so much. I read this memoir about him, and I'm in love with him so much. Even studying comedy, like when I was getting like deep into doing my research about comedy and stuff, like he was one of my big ones. And I even always say like, people are always like, who's your favorite drag queen? Who inspires your drag? I say Mrs. Doubtfire. Like literally, Mrs. Doubtfire was a drag queen.
The original.
And like. He was just, there was something about him that I relate to so much.
Yeah. We're here to talk about
Beyonce. Because she's alive. I was invited by a friend of mine who works at Parkwood to the premiere of the Renaissance film.
Oh, the film.
The film that she created.
Yeah.
They had a premiere in Beverly Hills, and he invited me as a +1. So I was like, I cannot believe this right now. So I was in full geesh. I made a dress that was one of the Renaissance outfits, and I showed up to the premiere. I took photos on the carpet, and I was sitting in the back of the theater, and I've seen Beyonce in concert a couple times, but this was the closest I've ever been to her. I was sitting in the back of the theater, and the film was gonna start, and Beyonce was standing over here with Jay-Z and what's the little one? Remy, not Blue Ivy, the other one. The little diva star. So she was sitting there, and she went to go run down the aisle, and Beyonce was like, "Get over here!" And I'm like sitting in the back, like this far away from her, and I'm like, and then she was like, "Mommy, everyone's staring at us." It was so cute, and Beyonce's like, "I know, baby, I know, baby." And I was like, and then she walked past me, and I was like, this big old clown drag queen. Right in front of her.
You're like, "Mommy, who's this clown?"
And like, again, I don't get starstruck, but she's just the epitome of performance.
Yeah.
Like machine, you know? Like to sing, dance the way that she does. And like I love what I love about her. She's like so much about the craft and the work and the rehearsal. And I'm a bitch who loves rehearsal. I've gotten so used to just going and winging it, like especially with drag shows, like there's not as much like
prep time.
There's not enough time to do anything, but there's also not as much like pressure I feel sometimes with drag queens. Like some queens just stand there and collect their money, you know? And I'm like, well, me doing anything else than that is like already going the extra mile. So there's a lot less pressure when you're having to perform at a drag bar sometimes. But when you look at Beyonce, like that bitch loves a rehearsal. She's in there, she's working, she's doing the work, and that's what I crave.
Yeah.
The first Beyonce concert I saw, I think, was I Am Sasha Fierce. That bitch, I've seen so many. I saw Renaissance like 5 times.
Yeah.
I saw Cowboy Carter 3 times. Like, she loves to fly in the air, and I love it every time she does.
Yeah, and we love when we see Beyonce fly in the air. Well, I'm so excited to have Salina EsTitties. We're gonna have more with Salina right after this. Hey guys, we are back sitting here with Miss Salina EsTitties. So we love to talk about crazy experiences on the show, and you recently had your chakras aligned.
I have been feeling, so I currently got announced on All Stars, and that's a big situation. And then just like a lot of stuff is happening in my life, and like I'm trying to realign. And I was traveling a lot, and I came home and I felt a little out of it. And I got this email that was like, "Do you need your chakras aligned? See me." To get your chakras aligned. And I was like, you know, I've never done a chakra alignment energy anything, but I do feel like my energy's all over the place. So I was like, you know what? Let me treat myself. Like, spiritual mental health moment, right? And then he was like, and then, you know, there will be like an insertion of a silicone toy.
What?
And I was like,
as part of this alignment?
yes, and like this is like someone like it's like it came from like a naked yoga men's thing. So I imagine that there's some tantric, I don't know, like sexual stimulation, whatever. I figured that was gonna be part of this. So I don't know if that's regular in chakra practice or not, but I was like, I'm here for the experience. He's not horrible looking, so whatever. If he needs to put something in my butt to hit my chakra, like let's go. I've never done this before, so let's see. So I get there and I lay down on the massage table and I was like, so what do I do? He's like, oh, just think, you know, just meditate and like if a thought comes, get rid of the thought. And I was like, okay. He's like, you know, there's the root chakra, that's the one in your right? So I'm laying on the table and he's like, he does sound bowls, meditations, woo, woo, woo. And then he like spreads my booty cheeks. And then I feel like oil or lube go inside, like a blop of it. And I was like, okay, this must be that moment. And then it felt like his two fingers, I thought he went, pow! And I thought he like
jabbed you?
Jabbed my inside, right? The prostate area, the chakra root, whatever. So I was like, okay, that's part of it. And then really, I was like, that was really like a lot. And then he pulled it out and then I was like, okay. And then I just felt like, you know when you get bruised, you ever been pounded really hard and you're walking funny and you feel it the next day?
We've all been there.
That's what it felt like. I was consensual because I was like, I understand you're gonna put something in here. Like I just didn't know when it was coming or what it was. So I'm laying there and I have this like intense feeling in my prostate because he had bruised it. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then he got a Theragun and he's like Theragunning my booty crack.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I don't know what the purpose is here. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be meditating clear thoughts or if I'm supposed to be like horny, because I was not horny. And I told him, I'm like, I'm not horny. Like, it's not a horny thing for me. I'm not in the mood like that. So I'm really trying to understand my chakra openings. And like, he's Theragunning my booty hole. So I'm like, am I supposed to like arch? And like, so I start to arch and I try to insert the you know, the Theragun ball is big. Very tight. So I was like, do I get the ball inside of me? So I try to open up and it would not go in and he'd pull it away. And then he started again.
What is
and it's on my booty hole and I'm like, it's not going in. So I was like, okay, if I breathe, am I supposed to get the Theragun? Is this part of opening my chakra? And I'm vibrating and it's not going inside my booty hole. And then it almost does. I feel like my lips open up to suck it and it pulls it away. This goes on for a while. I got there at 9 p.m. It was 1:30 in the morning.
Shut up.
By the time I turned around and opened my eyes.
Shut up.
I was like, and mind you, the whole time my energy's crazy. Because I'm like, am I horny? Am I not horny? Am I putting a Theragun in my ass? What the is happening right now? And then we're sitting there and I was like, can I go to the bathroom? He's like, oh yeah. And he goes, oh, and whenever you're ready, just take it out.
What?
I said, take what out?
Stop.
Take what out? He's like, oh, the plug. When he was Theragunning the back of the butt plug. I thought he was trying to put the Theragun in my butt. I was so unchakra'd and even more chaotic energy after I left that.
I was gonna say, like, did you at least feel aligned after you were done?
I'll tell you, I felt open.
Salina, I'm still flustered from this story. Like, this is.
What do you think? I can't look at a Theragun the same anymore.
Oh my God, forget it.
I feel so inadequate.
You go to the gym, you see a Theragun, you like run the other way.
Yeah, my butthole starts to pinch up. Oh my God, yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Well, we will not recommend this chakra alignment place. We will not put up the website or the phone number unless you like that kind of thing.
Hey.
You know, there are some people
for
that do.
everyone.
So you are doing Drag Race All Stars right now. And I know, first of all, congratulations on all the success from, you know, the original Drag Race to everything that you've done in between. I mean, you're a rising huge star. You're already a massive influencer online. Like, what is it like coming back to Drag Race after so long, like in between?
So it's been about 3 years, right? Yeah. So that is a long time for someone to go through a lot. And like, what I'm finding what's interesting is I have grown a lot. Yeah. What's interesting is when you reach a level of success or fame in any capacity, they always say fame changes people.
Yeah.
You know, my lifestyle changed, so I'm changing.
Yeah.
But also the people around you change as well. Like, so like that was my biggest like hurdle on top of like my mom passing away. Yeah. My boyfriend had relapsed on meth at the time, and like I was juggling a lot. And then the fandom getting all that stuff too was a lot. So like I've shifted and changed a lot, and I feel like coming back 3 years later, and really deciding like who do I want to be moving forward, right? Like I went into Drag Race season 15 with an idea of who Salina EsTitties was, and it was this character I created and built. Like I said, Mrs. Doubtfire. Do you remember Eddie Murphy's Rasputia?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like those are my idols of what drag is these characters, these improv comedy actors creating characters. That's what drag was for me.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like on Drag Race, my producer Wes, shout out to Wes, he said like, I think what we got from your arc on Drag Race was this like character and you blending into one, where they seemed very separated in the beginning. I've always been a Hollywood girl, and I've always been hustling in these streets. So I am, I'm like, oh, well, if Salina EsTitties season 15 was the girl from South Central and from the block, well, how about All Stars is where she moved up to Hollywood, and now she's the Beverly Hills Hollywood hoochie.
Period. And you are obviously now really getting into stand-up comedy. You just filmed your first comedy special with us on Revry, I'm Dead.
I'm dead.
And you stole the show. Like, I have to say, like, wow, you were impressive. Tell us, like, what is it like? Is this your first stand-up special, by the way?
That is my first one ever.
Wow.
It is.
Wow.
Like I said, like Beyonce, I'm someone who respects the craft. And I don't want to be one of these girls who just comes up and like, I'm a comedian now. So it really was important to me to do the work. And what I'm finding as I do the work is that comedy and stand-up requires you to have an opinion.
Yeah.
It requires you to have a hot take. And I'm someone who's always been so afraid of my opinions because you can get canceled so easily.
Right.
I say anything on Twitter, people come for me. So it's really building a confidence in myself to stand on an idea that I have and like make funny of it, And it's really showing me, as I said, like I'm growing and learning about myself more. It's forcing me to have an opinion on stuff and really stand on how I view stuff, as opposed to like, what do my friends think? Like, what do people want me to think? One of my biggest pride and joys was Lisa Lampanelli. She reached out to me during my season of Drag Race, and she's like, hey, I'm a big fan, call me if you ever want. I had a 2-hour conversation with her, and I had mentioned like, I would love to like get into stand-up. She's like, let me know. And like I was like, wow, she was like
icon.
But she's an icon, but she's an example of someone who had to like kind of stop doing comedy for a bit because her stuff was so intense and not politically correct. I think all comedians today are kind of like, it's a hurdle we're all kind of navigating, but it's a true sentiment if you're able to be funny. Without having to go there.
And you were funny, and I think one of the greatest things that we need right now in this world is the ability to laugh because we're going through so much. So it's important to continue to do what you're doing because you are bringing a lot of joy to a lot of people.
Thank you so much.
So the show is called Mic Drop for a reason, and this is a moment in our show where we like to talk about something that made you so proud that you were completely grounded in, where you felt like you had a mic drop moment. Have you had that experience yet, or is it something that's yet to happen for Salina EsTitties?
Oh, I have had so many mic drops, so many panty drops. Those are my favorite. I drop the mic all the time. Like I said, I'm someone I'm very conscious of me, and like I'm very aware of what's happening a lot of the times with myself. So I love an epiphany, a spiritual experience, an awakening, a chakra realignment. What's the opposite of a realignment?
I don't know.
A disalignment, baby. I need
those tires.
I'm very conscious when it comes to those kind of stuff. So I've had them all throughout my life. You know what I mean? When I played football and I hated it, but I made my dad proud, right? When I lost weight when I was younger to make the weight team for football. When I lost weight in high school when I moved to Hollywood. When I lost weight recently, I've lost 150 pounds. Like that, those moments. Getting on Drag Race after auditioning 5 times. Getting sober at 21 and staying sober when all my friends are relapsing and going to detoxes and rehabs. And like, I have mic drop moments all the time. And I think we all have mic drop moments all the time, but we're not giving ourselves the moment to really acknowledge them. And like I said, today I'm in a place where I'm looking back and I'm slowing down so I can be like, look at me, bitch. I just filmed a comedy special.
You did.
They gave me a microphone.
Yeah.
People want to take microphones away from me. So that's a big deal. So that's a mic drop moment for me.
Absolutely. Celebrating the wins in life, no matter how big or how small.
Yes, because they're trying to come for us. And literally with all the war that's happening, we could explode tomorrow.
Yeah.
So might as well own it today.
Life is too short.
Yes.
Stick around. We're going to come right back after this break.
I did bowling, I did football, I did hockey, I did 13 years of karate. That was my favorite, bitch, 13 years of karate. Because in karate, it's kind of like dance, okay? We do these things and they're called forms. You gotta go, hey, yes! right? And that's what I ended up doing. Hi, yes! And if you did your dance well enough, they'll reward you with a new color belt, bitch. Sickening! I had white, yellow, red, green, blue. Bitch, I look like a damn Pride Float parade, bitch. It was sickening.
All right, you're watching Mic Drop. My name is Damian Pelliccione, and our hot seat today is Salina EsTitties.
Oh, it's so hot in here.
I know, and it was getting hot. I found this really funny photo of you that we were gonna take a look at. There's a, what? Okay.
This is 2008 for you. This is I was wearing a neon green tie with this black suit, and I had
Corsage.
I had black Air Forces with a neon green swoosh.
Oh my God.
Because this was 2008 in Stockton, California, high school prom senior year with my best friends Danielle and Aaron Forche.
Shout out.
I love them. I love them so much. They were my best friends in high school. And we were like, I miss them. Those were my babies.
Yeah.
And sorry.
No, please.
I'm such a baby. It's because my chakras are open, you guys.
Tell us about your friend.
Aaron's a gay, and then Danielle was like our fruit fly. And I remember Danielle showed us gay porn for the first time.
No way.
Because she had already been watching it. So she was like, I'm going to show you guys something magical. But I had long hair because my theater teacher made me get cornrows for a role I was playing in a musical.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I had long hair like that.
Wow. That is an iconic prom look, I'll tell you. Let's talk about this one.
Honey!
What is going on? What is this about? Where did this come from?
First of all, look at the makeup. I had just shaved my head too, so I was bald under there. This was actually at Ariana Grande's 7 Rings single drop party.
No way.
Yes, and I didn't know what to wear, but the video came out and it was very sexy, pink. So I had this fur coat I've had forever. I think I stole it from someone when I was in college. And I had this Hello Kitty purse. I wanted a claw machine and I put it on my because like
Or the claw machine.
Hello Kitty.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Meow. Last question is, if there is one thing in your closet that you just absolutely cannot part with, that you can't get rid of, what would it be?
I think it's this jacket, this fur checkered pink jacket. I'm telling you, I don't even know how I have it, but it's been sitting there. And every time I have trade over, so I keep my bedroom very separate from my drag. Like all my drag is in the living room and like away, and my bedroom is my boy space. And I have trade come over, and they're always like, "What's that?" And it's my pink white fur jacket sticking out of the closet.
Stop.
Oh, and I had a bad Labubu addiction last year.
Oh.
I'm not proud of it. And that stares at the trade these days too. So
How
I try
many Labubus?
Too many.
Like
too many. Like every single one I have it. And I'm not proud of it. And I displayed them for some reason in my boy bedroom. And now trade, I have to put their face in the pillow the other way.
Oh my God.
It's fine.
Well, we are gonna give you the last mic drop moment. And I'm gonna hand you this microphone. I want you to look right to camera.
Oh, it's so squishy.
And give us the best titties.
I just want to say, anyone out there, if you're hiring talent, baby, book the girls. Hello, we are here. We're ready to work, and I'm ready to work my talents. Okay, I'm not working the thumbs. I'm not holding the lights. You will handle that for me, right? Right. Let's get it together, baby.
Bam. We're gonna get you a deal with Theragun after this.
Oh, that would be so funny. I'm like,
that's your endorsement deal. Theragun, if you're watching.
Let's go.
Salina EsTitties, thank you so much for being on the show. Don't forget to watch her on I'm Dead, streaming now on Revry. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you soon.
See you soon. Bye, y'all. Follow me on Instagram @EsTitties, baby.